I've been shooting like 1,000, 1,200 pictures a day. Street photography 3.0 is that it really becomes kind of like a lifestyle thing. Insta slave loser, three-dimensional loser. Yeah, right now in the year 2024 and beyond, it's the best time to be in street photography. I pre-ordered a Lumix S9, you know, that new compact full frame. You say it takes more courage and balls to shoot digital than to shoot film. I don't know, I feel like maybe in the future people look back at Eric Kim in 2024, it's like, wait, I don't understand it. He could lift 1,000 pounds and he's super jacked and he's still shooting street photography and he's a full-time dad.
Eric Kim.
Yo, what's up, Chris?
Hey, we need an update.
Money.
What are you up to these days, Eric?
Dude, chilling with Chris at the pier.
Everybody thinks you have fallen out of photography.
No, I've been shooting 1 trillion pictures a day. Yo, check out
Look at the Lumix G9.
The Lumix G9. Check out that War Damage.
War Damage, all right.
Yeah, and then yeah, I just been shooting with my Lumix L Mono D mode.
Oh yeah.
Honey, got it?
How many photos you got on that thing?
Dude, bro, like I think I have at least like 2 million actuations. It's like
2 million actuations?
Yeah, easy. And actually,
2 million. So how many photos do you shoot per day?
Dude, I've been shooting ever since Seneca's born. I've been shooting like 1,000, 1,200 pictures a day. Actually, my problem is nowadays, like, cause you know, obviously I want to be super daddy and like I'm just chilling with Sen all day and I'm shooting him all day. And I'm like, I have like 20,000 photo backlog and I've just been shooting small JPEG and you know, like vibing out with Seneca. And currently, if you're curious, my Ricoh GR3X dead after a million accusations.
Oh, you had the 3X?
Yeah, my GR3 dead.
What happened to it? Did the lens motor die?
No, actually it just stopped charging. Like, I mean, I think I might have messed up where, you know, it has USB-C charging.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I used my MacBook Pro charger to charge it, so I might have fried the battery.
Probably like different voltage or something like that.
Yeah, like my GR3's dead. The lens mechanism, it comes up and then it closes. And then the GR3X kind of stopped charging, and I'm like, I was gonna get it fixed, but it's like $500, $600 to get it fixed.
Yeah.
It's funny because I actually emailed Ricoh. I'm like, I'm Eric Kim, fix my Ricoh for me.
Did it work?
I've helped you. No, it was like a random dude in the Philippines or India.
And you're probably one of the most famous guys promoting the Ricoh too, aren't you?
Yeah. So I was like,
I think it's you and probably what, Dado?
Oh yeah.
It's you and Dado. You were the top two promoting the Ricoh.
Well, you know,
they didn't give you no love, man.
Yeah, and I was like, nah, after this and that, I was like, but then, you know, I'm actually thinking about going to Japan in December. I was thinking about getting the GR3.
Which part of Japan you going to?
HDF. Oh, you got Halle? I'm thinking about going to maybe Tokyo, and I was thinking about maybe getting. Have you heard anything about the new Ricoh GR3 HDF?
I have, yeah. It has like that.
Do people like it? Or
I don't. I think people are buying it because it's the one available right now.
Oh, honey,
Everything else is unavailable.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because actually, I'm just like looking at the market, and I saw that M11D came out. But honestly, it's just.
Oh yeah, that seems fun, but it's 10,000.
You know, actually, it's funny because like
10,000, I don't know, man.
All the cameras.
That's funny. I just posted that on my little Instagram story today.
No, but I think everyone could afford it. Or I mean, even you could afford it. I mean, I could afford it, but like honestly, at this point, I think really exciting news. I pre-ordered a Lumix S9. You know that new compact full frame?
Oh yeah,
and then,
okay.
26 mil full frame f8. It's apparently a manually focusing.
Yeah, I saw that. Can do the old range focus. Yeah,
so I think that's currently the most interesting on the market because you could actually buy it.
Right.
But besides that, maybe the GR3 HDF. It looks cool, but then I guess you have to go to Japan if you want to buy it. I might get one while I'm there. But more lately, I've just been like, honey, GoPro Mini. You know. But I'm all about the Chris lifestyle.
Yeah.
Check out Chris's blog. Super fire.
I actually don't do the blog anymore.
You don't do a blog? Dude, last time you showed me the blog in your ebooks, I was very impressed. Because like nowadays, everyone's a Insta slave loser, three-dimensional loser. Shout out to my friend Charlie Kirk. But yeah, I think
that's funny. I just got back on Instagram. I got 12 followers.
No, just delete that. Just go back to your blog. Your blog's great. I love your blog.
I still got all the posts, but I took down the page.
Nah, just put it back up. Bring it back a lot.
Yeah, I transitioned. I made the web page more like a portfolio.
No, you could do both because the reason I liked it too is I read your blog and I just kind of like your stream of consciousness, and I think ultimately it's just like in terms of arts and creativity, like I think you're doing it right too, Chris. Is that you're doing your photography and street photography and travel, your lifestyle. It's kind of like a lifestyle photography integration. where it's not just taking pictures in the streets. It's like making connection. You know, we're talking about doing some more cool stuff here in LA now that I'm like settled here.
Oh yeah, promote your you got your downtown workshop right here.
Do a downtown LA workshop. I mean, just Google Air Kim workshop, you'll see it.
When is it? What month is it?
I'm thinking about doing one. What month is it right now?
What are we in? September?
September.
Middle of September 19th?
December.
November. Okay, so a month or two.
But what people are like, what's happening, Eric? I'm like, dude, I'm like blogging 10 trillion times a day. I think one thing that people have.
And you're putting on YouTube too.
Yeah, putting on YouTube. And then people are like, you know, when did Eric can become a bodybuilder? Because like.
Give me that flex, dude.
Yeah. Yo.
Hey. You can have 5% body fat if you train as hard as Eric.
Oh, I gotta do the full flex.
Yeah, that's it. Look at that. Hey, out here flexing on the pier.
Yeah.
These people on this pier ain't ready for this action.
I think I'm the only bodybuilder I know who doesn't take steroids and do intermittent fasting. No, but I think it's useful because I was talking to Chris too. It's just like
steroids. It makes you look too puffy. You know what I'm saying?
Like, well, the bad thing is it makes your balls into peanuts, right?
Yeah.
And
you don't want no peanut balls.
Yeah. And then so one thing I've been trying to think. Oh, and I've been talking to Chris, which is useful. Is honestly, I think photography, street photography, fitness, it's all like connected, and you know, like. Trying to be healthy and fit and happy. Actually, I thought about, you know, how to be a happier photographer. I think you just need to be healthier, happier, sleep 8 to 12 hours a night, eat well.
Yeah, you know what? I don't even think it's about the photos, man.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's about like talking to random people on the street, getting your steps in, clearing your mind, appreciating the smaller things in life.
Sure.
The photos are just like a benefit.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I think nowadays, because like now that I deleted my Instagram in 2017 with 65,000 followers, it's funny, people are like, oh, Eric, you still have an Instagram. I'm like, actually, facts, that's not me.
Your Instagram and you?
No, Eric Info, that's not me. Do you know what happened? After I deleted my Instagram in 2017, a loyal follower remade it for me and put up some of my key pictures at the time and was not a malicious actor. So I was like, dang, I guess I'm like super legit if I have like old fans just remaking my Instagram for me.
Wow, dude, that's crazy. That's funny. And yeah, I saw that account. The guy never posts on it.
Yeah, so I'm like,
he's just leaving it set.
And I think it's really, I mean, now it's crazy within our short life, right? Like TikTok is like killing Instagram, which is really shocking to me. Because like, you know, it looked like Instagram was the behemoth or the titan that would never die. But my hot take is I think I wouldn't be surprised in the next like 5 to 6 years. Ain't nobody gonna use Instagram. It's gonna be like the next Facebook. I mean, Facebook owns it, right? And even, you remember Flickr?
Oh yeah,
Flickr?
I have a Flickr account. I got the Flickr Pro.
Well, yeah, I'm like, when's the last time somebody used that? And so like kind of what you're saying too, Chris, is like, you know, yeah, I think photography is just kind of like life. And you know, honestly, my goal now, I'm trying to position myself where I'm inspired to shoot street photography for the next like 50 to 60 to 70 years.
Yeah, man, the long term.
Yeah, because I think what I discovered personally about social media, the reason I deleted it, I was my favorite Kanye quote, I've been awakened from an enlightened man's dream, checking Instagram comments to crowdsource my self-esteem. I just found that too much of my own self-esteem was tied up to social media, and I think it was very like, social media was super toxic for my self-esteem. Like, it would put me in a bad mood. Like, one day I would upload a picture and get like 1,000 likes, and I'm like, yeah. And then the next day I upload something, I get only 500 likes. I feel super depressed.
And it's just the algorithm.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with your skill.
It's like stupid, right? And so now I'm just trying to play the long game. You know, just trying to you know, shoot more street photography, like with Seneca, because I think people have this wrong idea that, oh, like street photography can only be done without permission. You can't make eye contact.
Right.
You got to grow a little Hitler mustache and wear some sort of ironic hat with some sort of ugly flannel and be super antisocial. And I'm like, no, I think photography is street photography. It's best when it's social.
Are you getting the flannel from a thrift store? Is that where they're coming from?
What's happening is you go to Portland, you go to Polar,
there you go.
You buy a $700 flannel and try to look cool. And honestly,
that's
I think,
like 50 years old with holes in it from moss.
And honestly, nowadays, I think the good
smells
thing
like
is,
mold.
Yeah. Oh, the funny thing too is, not that the new iPhone Pro came out. Honestly, it looks pretty lame. But I think the good thing is more and more people are getting back into standalone digital cameras. The new Fuji X100 VI came out. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, I mean, Rico's not letting up. I think my thought is, honestly, nowadays there's no reason to shoot film no more. Just shoot the, once you just get the Ricoh GR3X HDF, and then it kind of emulates the look of film. Or the S9, which I'm pretty excited about. Because I think honestly, like, if Henri Cartier-Bresson was alive today, he'd be probably shooting with a Ricoh.
Yeah, I think so too. I think any photographer or like a Gary Winogrand that shoots 1,000 photos a day,
for sure.
they wouldn't be messing with film today because it would just be too much of a hassle.
Yeah, and I think this is where thinking first principles entrepreneurship is useful too, because like, you know, if you started street photography carte blanche in the year 2024, like, why would you ever shoot film? And I think it's like, think about it this way, right? Like, you know, the Henry Ford, like, if I created a car today, what do people want, a faster horse? And it's still bizarre to me in the year 2024, people are still buying gasoline cars. I'm like, what is this, the Stone Ages? Like, and so I think people, my theory on why people love film photography so much is people find refuge in the past. Mm-hmm. You know, people liking vinyl records and stuff like that. And so to me, it's almost more cowardly to shoot film or be retro, because obviously people will say, oh, the past is the best because it's solid, it's not changing. And now in the brave new world of digital, it's a lot more uncertain, and people don't like the uncertainty. But so now I would actually say it takes more courage and balls to shoot digital than to shoot film. Even my friend Charlie Kirk, he had an interesting quote is, he said, if you shoot film, you're a photographer. If you shoot digital, you're an editor, meaning not editor like, you know, you post-processing your pictures, but the hard thing with digital photography is that because we have so many images now, to find effective workflows to sift through a lot of photos is more difficult. But currently my workflow is just shoot small JPEG, you know, put in the high contrast filters in the camera, like Ricoh looks great with that. Fujifilm, the color films are good too. And I've just been using the smaller 11-inch iPad Pro, the M1 chip, to just look at my photos as contact sheets and select them. But for anyone who's really following closely, yeah, this is the most productive I've been as a photographer in my life, like blending street photography with shooting photographs with Sen, you know, family life.
Yeah, 1,000 a day, that's a lot.
Because back in the day,
how do you get more productive than that?
Yeah, back in the day I would shoot maybe like, I don't know, 50 or 100. And when I was shooting film, maybe I would shoot a roll of film every 2 or 3 days because I was trying to be conservative. But now, especially with the cost of film inflation, I'm like, dude, it is like prohibitively expensive to shoot film now. I'm just like, even getting a roll of film scanned and developed in the States here, it's what, like $25? You know, roll of film is like, what, like $10 to $15? So you're dropping like $30 to $40.
You're getting a good deal if you're spending 30 total.
Yeah, so currently I'm thinking the future of photography is going to be people like Chris and the next generation of photographers who are like, using blogs, YouTube channels, like this super fire video right now.
This is going to be super fire.
Dude, it's going to be so fire.
Super close on your face. I don't even know if the audio is working.
I'm sure it's fine.
The lighting sucks. It's super shaky.
Bro, you know that when I started my YouTube channel, I had the OG GoPro. And it shot like 540p. And so like now when everyone has all the fancy effects, I feel like it's so unnecessary. Oh wait, so Chris asked me some juicy questions. I'll answer all
right, juicy question. I gotta go back. Do you actually know Charlie Kirk?
Yeah, we're best friends. Yeah.
You talking about the political guy, Charlie Kirk?
No.
Oh, different.
I didn't know Charlie Kirk was a political.
Okay, yeah, he's a real famous political analyst. I was like, he shoots photos? I was like, what? Because all I've seen him is talking about
political analyst.
Yeah, he's with he goes to like college campuses and debates the students and stuff.
Maybe somebody else.
Yeah, he's pretty popular on YouTube. But I don't know the Charlie Kirk that you're talking about. Is he from here?
He's a British street photographer. He's probably the modern street photographer who's had the most influence on me. He had a book called Kitilvar, Kitilvar, but he stopped shooting street. He's a lawyer now, I think. So asking me some more juicy questions.
So what do you have to say to all the guys who wonder where you're at? That you're somehow living this inadequate lifestyle because you're not out there posting your photos on Instagram, submitting them for photo competition. You're not per se in the street photography world, right?
Well,
because would you consider yourself to still be in the street photography world? You know?
Oh yeah. Well, you want to hear my cocky statement?
Okay.
Bro, I am the street photography world. I'm just playing. Currently, I'm just playing the long game. I'm thinking about putting together a new book on street photography. I've just been busy hanging out with Sen all day. But I think my big evolution of street photography, I call it street photography 3.0, is not just street photography like typical, like the old school model, right? This is the days of Flickr, right? You try to make a really nice single picture, upload to Facebook or Instagram or Flickr, maximize the amount of likes you get, and then rinse and repeat. And I think that's kind of the old plain model. So now I'm actually thinking street photography, lifestyle, and philosophy. This is kind of a lifestyle thing. And so street photography is a tool for like philosophical introspection, for living a happier life, creative thriving. And I don't know, I think that honestly, the most of the street photographers that I met, I'm 36 now, I started my blog when I was 21, right? So I've been in the game for a minute. And everyone I've seen who was really into street photography, everyone's fallen off. I mean, the reason I think is everyone got super depressed after getting successful on social media. Like, think about all the guys who were the goats on Flickr, and now nobody uses Flickr no more.
It is hard because I think a lot of people's work is tied to validation.
Oh, yeah.
And when you don't get the validation anymore, what's driving you?
Exactly.
You got to have something else besides the validation driving your photography.
Yeah, and honestly, like, if I could speak honestly, yeah, like, you know, like, obviously I care about what other people think and stuff like that, but I think it's kind of like Prince, you know, when Prince was evolving, or David Bowie, even Kanye, right? People don't like the new versions of the next artist, but I don't know, I feel like maybe in the future people will look back at Eric Kim in 2024. It's like, wait, I don't understand it. He can lift 1,000 pounds and he's super jacked, and he's still shooting street photography, and he's a full-time dad, and he's into Bitcoin, AI, and ChatGPT. So I think people, like you were saying, they don't, they have a difficult time dealing with uncertainty or complex figures. But yeah, I could say very easily, I'm shooting 1,000 pictures a day. Yeah, this is the happiest and most productive street photography I've been alive. And I plan on dying when I'm 120 years old. So my aspiration is to be more.
You're just getting started.
Yeah, I'm just getting started, and like, you know, like, I really want to see myself like the next Cartier-Bresson. Like, I want to be so famous that nobody even knows who Cartier-Bresson was. And street photography is still my #1 passion. It's kind of like Kanye or Jay-Z, even though they're doing all the other stuff.
Right.
I mean, still they love the music, they love the rapping, they love the lyricism, and yeah, and I think. Yeah, right now in the year 2024 and beyond, it's the best time to be in street photography.
So what if Apple came out with like a dedicated camera that was still tiny like the Ricoh, but it was streamlined for social media and all that, and it was touchscreen, it was super easy to use, but it was a camera, you could still call on it and text. If they did that, I think a lot of people would buy it.
No, I think that's a super smart idea. I think I had a vision of like an iPhone Pro on steroids that would be like $1,999. If anything, actually, I think a better idea is, like, if you're listening to this, Leica should come out with like a Ricoh killer. It should be like a Ricoh Giro on steroids, like a small compact Leica. Because even the Q, it's like so big and bulky.
They're close with the Deluxe. They just need to take the zoom lens off.
I mean, the Deluxe is just a rebranded Lumix.
Yeah, they need to just make that a fixed lens, you know, and like, that could be close.
What I would do is, like, Leica should come out with like a mini Leica Q, essentially on steroids. And we're gonna walk and talk. Okay. Yeah, no, my vision was like imagine, I call it the Leica X, where it's like priced at around $5,000, $4,999, or $2,999, and essentially it's like a Ricoh GR killer. Because I love the Ricoh to death, but my critique was it just doesn't last. Like, I mean, I don't know,
not durable.
I don't know about other people, but
I've had two break on me, the lens motor. It just dies and then it's done.
So actually, the reason what inspired me to get the Lumix, right? Because the thing about the G9 was just so impressive. I bought it in Japan, in Tokyo, at Big Camera in like 2017 or 2018, and it's had such great longevity. I've dropped it like 20 times. It's super bad. One way. Oh, drive okay. What do you got? Go to driving. Yeah, and so the longevity on it's been amazing. And so I used to be like the typical tech millennial, like I'm trying to find I was trying to find the perfect camera that lasts forever, right? And that was my quest, right? That's what took me through all this Leica nonsense. But ultimately, my epiphany was the best camera is the most robust one that you could just throw around and like you F around with it. So, and then also the thing that Leica doesn't want you to know. For the most part, one should consider all the Leicas like Lumix G9, like Lumix cameras with a body kit, because I think since the beginning, Leica collaborated with Panasonic Lumix to make all the sensors. That's why it has quote Leica branded lenses for the Lumix cameras, right? And also that's why the Leica Deluxe is essentially just a Lumix 4/3 camera with a red back. So yeah, I think nowadays anyone who wants to get a Leica, I think they have either not shot with the GR before, or they're just trying to I don't know, it's like I call it like the Porsche 911 syndrome. Everyone wants a Porsche 911 to be the cool guy, but then like I think a Porsche 911 in LA is like driving a Toyota Corolla. Like everyone has one here. You want to hear my funny virtuous thought though? I would actually say, okay, in defense of Leica, right? Obviously the cameras are expensive, right?
I like Leicas.
But, yeah, no, I think they're cool. But then it's still cheaper to buy a Leica than a Toyota Corolla, I guess.
Yeah.
So even my thought is maybe everyone should just drive an old 2010 Prius like I do. And then if you want to buy the camera, go for it. I mean, but truth be told, like, you know, I still have my film like MP with the 35.
Oh, you still have that?
Yeah, yeah. But then like, I kept it in a box forever, and I recently took it out. Seneca likes to shoot with it. You remember Wizard of Oz, right? Everyone thinks that the Oz is like this great, godlike figure, right? And then finally you open up the little curtain in the back. You know, Toto opens, right? Like a little dog. And you find out he's just like a small little man, like behind this thing. So I almost feel like the mystique of Hani apa gabang mo? Hani nook? Okay, nook. So I almost feel like the Wizard of Oz is kind of a similar thing where Leica definitely has a mystique. You got money? Okay. So everyone has this mystique about Leica because they've never used it. But also it's like, you know, obviously I still see Lamborghini cars. I think it's cool, right? But people don't understand a Leica, a Lamborghini is just an Audi R8 with a body kit. And then people also don't realize an Audi R8 is just a Volkswagen Passat on steroids. Right. And so I think the whole problem with just modern day like capitalism, consumerism is we see these kind of things as like these like totems of power, and people fail to realize that, you know, you buy it and then it's like I actually read this interview with Jay-Z, right? The second that he bought the Bentley and drove around the block, right? He was like, oh, that's it. And so I think that's what they kind of forget the nuance about capitalism, consumerism, is that, was it, oh, here? Okay, so let's go into the street. Yeah, so I think one thing that people often forget about, like capitalism and consumerism, right? Like, I think everyone's trying to do things to make them happy. It's like, oh, once I get 1,000 followers, I'll be happy. Once I get 1 million followers, I'll be happy. Once I get 1 trillion followers, I'll be happy. X amount of likes, right? But I feel that really the secret to happiness in photography and street photography is really kind of longevity. I mean,
yeah, I think so too.
Anyone who stays in the game, like, what were your thoughts on longevity?
No, yeah, I think it's hard because in the first couple of years it's so exciting. Then after a while you're just walking around kind of bored. Yeah. And you have to have a different purpose when you're walking around other than the photos. Yeah. And I think like my ultimate goal for street photography is not even to make photos. It's not even to be happy. It's to be productive.
Oh, I like that. Well, that's why I say your vlog was so fire, bro.
And happiness.
Bring it back.
All right, I might bring it back. But I think happiness. Ultimately, you want to be happy. Yeah. But like especially I think men, we're built to be productive, and we're built to do something useful with our hands. Yeah. And the way that we can become happy by doing that is to be productive. So happiness is kind of like a byproduct. Yeah.
Well, one thing, Chris, I like
happiness,
about your
you know, or
productivity. I like about your blog too
wow, look at this wind blowing.
Yeah. I kind of liked. Well,
nice.
Look, you're doing video street photography now too. Well, actually, one thing I liked about your blog too, Chris, was how you would have like these mini blog series, which kind of became like short visual stories, like when you did your trip to Joshua Tree with your lady. And
Yeah.
So I almost feel like my thought about I call it street photography 3.0 is that it really becomes kind of like a lifestyle thing, because like, you know, back in the day I used to be like, oh, it has to only be street photography. Like, I'd see a nice picture of a tree and I didn't shoot it because I'm like, that's not street photography.
Yeah. I think that's kind of ridiculous.
But then, yeah, it is ridiculous. And now what I realize is,
oh, we're not gonna be able to hear nothing on this corner.
that's cool. Let's keep walking. I call them street photography Nazis. People, they say it's either my way or the highway. Yeah, gatekeepers, right?
Yeah.
And actually, what I discovered personally is a lot of these guys, right? They're just like a bunch of like insecure, like, you know, skinny fat losers who just want to, you know, assert their manliness and dominance by stunting on you while you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would definitely say when I was starting off street photography when I was like 21, 22, and then just became super famous all of a sudden. Essentially, people were just trying to like discredit me because, you know, it's like, don't hate me because you wish it was me, right? But ultimately, I think I believe in inclusivity in street photography, right? Like, essentially anything could be street photography. And then, you know, people always get caught up in the question, is it street photography or not? My more important question is like, do you care about the picture or not? Because another thing I had to say, honestly, looking at my pictures in the past and now, there was definitely some photos that I shot that I was shooting it to appeal to a certain type of street photography aesthetic that I didn't really actually care for that much.
Yeah.
Versus there are certain photos I shot that maybe weren't as well acclaimed, but they actually were more meaningful to me.
Okay.
And I feel like that's kind of been...
So what was the style that you were shooting for before that you were shooting to try to fit into the aesthetic?
oh,
that you
yeah,
don't
I'll
like?
give examples. So,
Like the flash photos?
Actually, I would say it's more like the kind of Henri Cartier-Bresson try to look nice pictures.
Gotcha.
Those kind of pictures now. Actually, I've kind of been revisiting some of my street photos, like Laughing Lady picture and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
I
a good
think
one.
like those kind of photos are actually my favorite pictures because
You had a moment
they're
with
happy.
that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had like a special moment with that
like
person.
it's like somebody's super happy. Oh, it was actually so cool.
Because I saw your contact sheet. So
Oh,
yeah, you worked the
yeah.
scene. She knew what was
Yeah.
going on. She kind of posed for you a little
Yeah.
bit, gave you something to take a photo
Yeah,
of.
and I would still say.
But you have a connection with that person.
Yeah, and I think I made her feel great. She made me feel great. And I also think that the problem nowadays, just in the world, everyone's too emo.
People are depressed, aren't they?
Yeah, and like,
Why is everybody so upset?
well, my thought
Do
is.
you think this is the best country in the world?
Yeah.
Yes,
hands
I do.
down.
USA
And-
number
and
one,
actually-
baby.
Yeah, and actually, LA is the best place to be. in
Look,
America.
these are all tourists. They're all here in Santa Monica. That's USA, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think the reason why I think everyone's so depressed now is everyone's on their phone all the time, man.
Yeah.
And actually, I have a theory. You know, everyone said the
They're not
iPhones
getting the
are true.
validation that they
Not the validation. I'm like, okay, very simple via negativa rule to increase your self-esteem. Delete Facebook, delete Instagram, delete email from your phone. All that shit gives you anxiety. And I just use my iPhone now just for FaceTime and Google Maps, essentially, right?
Yeah.
And I think so nowadays everything's become so hyper because online advertising is dependent on clicks and impressions. And so I think people get this false view of reality is that, you know, like for example, like let us say you have an antisocial neighbor who never acknowledges your existence. I mean, you're from Ohio, so you know what's up, right?
Oh yeah.
So then, you know, you have all
Cincinnati,
this-
baby, representing the Queen City.
Yeah.
What's up?
Let's go. Cincinnati, right?
The nasty natty.
Yeah, nasty natty. But then the problem is, you know, how you have all these dudes who are acting super antisocial all the time, right? And then behind the scenes, you know, they're just like, you know, watching Curb Your Enthusiasm. Okay, but I'm gonna dip out with Sen. Check out Chris's blog. Check out my blog for some more fires.
Before you go, what do you
Yeah.
think's the best city for street photography in the
Los
world?
Angeles, baby.
In the world?
Los Angeles.
All right, LA, let's
LA,
go.
let's go.